Stand by, everybody. Kat is out putting the chickens away. In fact, let's see if we see anything out there at all. So she hasn't closed the door yet, but she's running a little late because she has to put the chickens away. You can see they're not put away.
They were hard to catch.
Okay, your mic is hot.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on right now.
Sweet.
You can talk.
You want me to talk?
I do.
All right. Test 1, 2, 3. I'm excited. All right. I'm super excited.
Well, you're already on.
Well, I thought we had an opener.
We do, but since John's not here, I'm going to have to do everything myself.
Okay.
What if he didn't have his opener with him? Just checking. Okay, here we go. We're going to switch over to our opener. There it is, Mr. Fisher.
Over 100 million records.
How many hits?
22 in a row, and that was the longest string of hits in the history of the music business.
Had the #1 television show.
Well, it wasn't number one.
But you used to do that
I
every...
was identified, I had the greatest sponsor identification in the history of sponsor identification. I was the Coca-Cola kid.
You were and you were, everybody loved Eddie Fisher.
Yep.
Everybody, the public loved you. You were the darling, you married this beautiful Hollywood star.
Cute, isn't she?
Debbie.
I fell in love with Debbie like everybody else did. I watched Singing in the Rain. I watched it in Korea, 1952, with a lot of other guys. And,
but he got her.
Yeah.
They watched.
And then you were a great friend of Mike Todd, right? Mike dies.
My
You
namesake.
named after Todd.
His best friend, yeah.
Mike Todd is married to Elizabeth Taylor. He dies. You go really to help out and wind up.
well, it didn't happen that quickly, and it didn't happen. I didn't leave Debbie to marry Elizabeth. We were already going to get divorced until we found out he was coming along. She told me after we'd signed papers.
Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant.
Yes.
Ever speak to Elizabeth?
I have a couple of times years ago.
That's totally out of your life. Do you ever come in contact with her?
My sister does, and they had become friendly.
Carrie and
Carrie
Elizabeth.
does. I have not. I don't know anything about her at all, other than what I read in the Inquirer.
She was the great love of my life. She was.
You honestly admit
For
that?
the 3 years that we were together, it was unbelievable.
I'll say. It was so unbelievable that half of what he said is not true. Anyway, I always love to set the record straight on this stuff.
That's right. Look who just walked in.
I see that.
Johnny's here. Johnny's here and Samantha's here.
Oh boy, look at that. So the camera's...
Woohoo! We have people. I'm in the dark.
No,
So-
you're not.
I'm not. I feel like I am, but
Well, I
all
see.
the lights are on, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday night's edition of Kat and Todd Live. We actually have Todd Fisher in the house tonight, which is really nice because, as you know, we haven't done a show together in a long time. I had so much fun with you all last night, but I am so excited that Todd is here and he's with it and he's with us
Hi.
and that, huh?
She's starving. She's eating.
And we are going to be having a fun show and tell tonight that I actually had a little hand in because I know what I would like to see. So some of the things tonight I know I will never have seen. So that's kind of exciting.
That's true.
So let me just get us in here and see who's here. First of all, I'm just going to put on Do Not Disturb, and then that'll be that. And then we're going to go over to Facebook, and okay. Here we
Well, while
go.
you're doing all that, I'm
Yeah.
just going to say that I ran that clip because it was, it has to do a little bit with tonight's show and tell, first of all.
Does it?
It does.
Okay.
But second of all, it's a classic case of narcissistic delusionary behavior.
What, that clip?
Yeah, he's going to get on Larry King and rewrite history. All in a matter of...
With your children all on the stage. That's
Yeah.
just what blew my mind is that
Oh, you don't know
that
half
all
the
of his children were there, and
all.
for them, well, not all, but okay. But think about this. So he says she was the love of my life.
No, but what you
Okay,
didn't-
wait a
what I
minute.
never played for you is the part where he says. So right after this, they talk about Debbie. Now I had warned him before doing the show. I said, listen, if you say anything negative about my mother, I'm going to trash you on national TV. I will not hesitate, and I can do it. So let's just keep it super friendly and about you. Let's not make it about Debbie. So we had a deal, right? And I actually have a picture of us backstage. That's that one, the white picture.
Yes.
So that was backstage. So the next thing that happens is he's on stage and he goes off into the Debbie thing a little bit, but he keeps it pretty much like what you saw. But then Larry says, "Well, what about you and Connie?" Now imagine that the kids are teenagers, young teenagers, meaning Trisha and Jolie.
Right.
And he said, "Well, frankly, Larry, she just wouldn't put out."
On that same show?
Live on Larry King. In moments after that, I don't have the clip on
Oh
there. But
my
and
gosh.
I said, "Oh, you've got to be kidding." Now you got to
Now,
remember,
why don't you play that
because
clip?
they cut me out because I jumped his ass.
Yeah.
I said, "Are you serious? You're going to say that in front of your teenage children? That says it all, folks." And the audience laughed. But it was like the most insane thing to say in front of teenage kids. And it did sort of sum it up. That was his trip.
Well,
He had
I
no
think
boundaries.
yes, and you know what? That's a real pet peeve for me. As you know, no boundaries are a big pet peeve for me. But here's the thing. He's got Children by Connie Stevens sitting on the set and Children by Debbie Reynolds sitting on the set, and then sits there in front of all of you to say that neither of your mothers were the love of his
No, but
life.
let's go further. Look at what he said.
I mean, that's
no,
just
listen to
like,
what he did
wow.
say before. He said, "We were going to get divorced, and then she told me about Todd."
Yes.
Now, by the way, this is the first time I'd ever heard that story because it's not true. So I was like, now, how do I know it's not true? Well, I believe my mother, obviously, over him. But my mother tells the story completely differently. She writes her own version of this. But Eddie, of course, tells everything it's like the world according to Garp. I mean, anything.
Need volume on Todd.
Volume on Todd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Volume on Todd is. Oh, I hope you haven't been missing his rant.
Well, I don't know. One. Am I on?
Okay, so
Just turn it up. Shove the fader up. Doesn't matter.
okay.
Anyway.
Seth Robichaux. Oh, Eddie, what a charmer! And he has the.
No, but actually, Seth, that's the point. He was a charmer.
Yes.
He was very charming, and so charming, in fact, that he lands Debbie Reynolds, Elizabeth Taylor, like an endless stream of really amazing, smart women. How the hell do you do that unless you are beyond charming? So he's cute, charming, all of that. Now, later in life, when he's scrambling to justify why his life is a train wreck,
Yes.
he writes a book, and that's what this was about. And then he asked me if I'd come and be on the show with him. He said, "Would you come and be on the show?" And I was like, "Why do you want me on there?" He said, "Well, they asked if the kids would come or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it for you under one condition." I explained that. I would not do not say my mother's a lesbian. I'm not even sure I'm going to say something. I might just slap you.
Did he used to say that?
Oh, yeah, he wrote about it in the book.
Oh my gosh!
And you know what he based
I
it
can
on?
honestly tell you with just unequivocally, not that it matters. I mean, like as they say, not that it's a bad thing, but your mom loved men.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you what I loved about your mom in that regard. So she was in her late 70s and early she was 80 the last time I saw her really flirt with a young guy, which was really sweet. I mean, she had this like twinkle in her eye, and she is.
She did it to
yeah,
John all the time.
She did. Actually, you know what I remember? So
No, you don't know this, Samantha. My mother,
loved
we would
John.
say to her, do you want to be taken in the wheelchair from point A to point B, or do you want John to carry you? She goes, John.
She loved when John scooped her up in his arms because
I think she
because-
probably could have walked.
she probably could have, but John looks like something on a romance novel cover. You know what I mean? He had that long hair, and
When he was younger, yeah.
but he honestly would scoop her up, and she just loved that.
Well, we all know she wasn't a lesbian. The world knows that. However, my father wanted to sell that because that would justify his position. And here's how he sold it, because somebody actually bothered to ask him, well, why do you say that? What's it based on? He said, well, she lived with Agnes Moorehead,
So
who was a lesbian. Okay, so now, my mother's friend and lady could be her mother, Agnes Moorehead, lived together. They did. And guess who else lived there at the time? Carrie. And guess why they were living there? Because Harry Carl was held up in the Greenway house and refused to leave when we came back from New York. So this made my mother a lesbian because she was living with a very good friend of hers who happened to be a lesbian, and that made her one simply by proxy. And it's like, it's so typical, though, of people jumping to conclusion that my father was the expert at anything that would benefit him in terms of publicity or justifying why he did what he did. Like the notion that he says in this clip, well, it was already over. Now, who's there to dispute that exactly? Only one person, right?
Right.
So he's forcing me to side with my mother now.
Yeah.
On live TV.
Well, which is the right
now,
thing
I
to
let
do.
it lay. You saw that. I was fucking fuming right there.
Oh gosh.
Well, I can't help
It's
myself.
a family show.
Not as far as I'm
It is
concerned.
early, therefore children might be watching.
You
Watch
know
it.
how boys are about their mothers. Now, let's
I
get real.
do. But here's my question about that.
You go
Because I've
after
never
my-
asked you this.
You go after my mother or my wife or my sister, you're going to have
Yay!
serious
I
problems.
made the cut. If anybody goes after me. Okay, so here's the thing. When most of us will never know what it feels like to be on a TV show with your dad talking smack about your mother. How did you get angry? Did you not talk to him for a while? Like what does that look like?
Well, as I told you, I already warned him not to do what he effectively did. But
Yeah.
that was the soft version of where he would have gone had I not threatened him. And I still was fuming over there, but I thought, okay. I honestly was shocked because I hadn't heard that story. I had no idea. That's not even in his book, by the way. I didn't even know that he was going to go there. That's all like, wow, we're going to have some breaking news here today about Eddie Fisher actually, it's always justifying it. But I was stunned. So I probably didn't attack him because I was busy being stunned.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the girls probably were stunned too.
Oh,
Who
for sure.
knows,
You should have seen. And when he said, frankly, Larry, she didn't put out, I just couldn't
that's
believe
just
it.
unbelievable.
Everybody, they went like this.
I can't. The producers must have their jaw. Can you imagine the people in the control booth? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, in truth, though, they liked it up to a point until I came back at them. Then they didn't. That was like not. That wasn't all of a sudden something they wanted to leave in the show. I'm pretty sure, unless it's still there. Maybe it is there, and I'm just dreaming that it got cut. But I seem to remember it being cut. And the truth of the matter is it needed to be in because really somebody needs to reel these people in.
Yes.
There has to be consequences for the bozo comments being
Right.
made on national TV.
Well,
and keep in mind, Larry King at that time, that was the show.
Oh gosh, yes. I remember when I would not miss an episode of Larry King Live ever. And there were two shows I would not miss. And I was single at the time, so Friday nights, if I went on a date, I said I have to be home at 10 o'clock because I want to watch 2020. That was my show. And I couldn't watch a rerun or a DVR. No, I had to watch it because they always had great stories on back then.
And Larry actually
And
let
Larry
people
King was the
talk.
other one. Yeah,
But
he
knew-
did. But he had a
lets-
guest for an hour. Now
Yeah.
people are on a show for 2 minutes.
And he never changed his format. Now, tonight's show and tell is actually about this very subject. You ask which subject that is, because it's about Eddie. And it's about Eddie specifically. Now that we've drifted here, I'm going to tell you that I could have brought more telegrams. And I have, so my mother never challenged him on any of this stuff. So you asked the question a minute ago, or I asked the question kind of respectively, but I said, well, what evidence do you have? Well, the answer is I have the letters and the telegrams that my mother put in an envelope and gave to me when I was in my 20s.
Do you know what's so awesome about you? If you had not saved all this stuff, she put it in an envelope, but in all the times that she moved, it never got lost because you put it somewhere where you knew it would be.
Well, that was one item. Now, that particular item, believe it or not, was never mixed up. First of all, I didn't have it till, my 20s, late 20s, maybe even 30. No, I was in my 30s when she gave that to me.
Let me just stop for a second and say, a friend of mine is in Vegas right now, and she's out to dinner, and she's just watching for a few minutes to say hi. And I'm so sorry I'm not going to see you, Kimber Sissons, you see her name in the room a lot, but I know Kimber, so I'm sorry I'm going to miss you tonight. And you and Camille have a really good time at the show. I saw that great picture of you two on Facebook. And welcome, everybody. And so we're going to start now, because the show and tell must go on. And I really cannot wait to show everybody, in addition to the telegram and all that stuff. I'm super excited about tonight's show and tell.
Well, I'm not going to preview the second part of the show and tell.
Why?
Okay, no, I'm going to show it. I mean, I'm not going to say what it is right now.
Yeah, right.
We have two parts to show and tell. We have a actual show and tell where we'll get into this Eddie thing and memorabilia relating to that. And then we have a secondary one that's about my mom's collection. So we're going to preview tonight a show that we're going to do next week or whatever. And the reason why we're holding this one is because we need more support material to go with it.
Yeah, he wanted to make it really special.
I just didn't have time to get all the clips and everything together. But it's going to be some of her artifacts from her collection as it relates to the movie business and other stars.
Right.
So we'll get back to that in just one second. So we were looking, in our house, there's a corner. For those of you who've been here, you know what I'm talking about. There's a corner in the house where we have sort of an Eddie Debbie area. And there are paintings and pictures of them and photographs and telegrams. And some of the telegrams that I just mentioned that I kept are there. When I was in my 30s, my mother gives me this envelope. She says to me, your father's been on television a lot talking smack about me. And she didn't use that word, of course. But she's, so I just wanted you to know something because I've heard that he's bringing up, whether or not we were in love and all of this shit. Just like,
Yes.
She says, I want you to be in charge of this. You decide what to do with this. I'm not going to put it in my books or anything. I'm giving it to you. So she gave it to me. I kind of glanced at it. I didn't look at it for a long time. But inside of there were all the love letters that he had written through the whole time and telegrams that he had sent her through the whole relationship. So when you want to draw a timeline and you're asking, well, what evidence is there? It contradicts the statement you just heard him make in the beginning of the show. Because I have telegrams, of him mooning over her when allegedly he'd already filed for divorce.
Yeah.
The other thing is check the timetable on the divorce filings against the trip when she gets pregnant with me and backtrack those numbers. They don't work. Okay, it doesn't require an FBI agent to sort this out for us, folks. Those numbers don't play. So, liar, pants on fire. Okay.
That's how they said it in the MGM days. That you would have you would have Errol Flynn and Burt Lancaster when they were pirates. Remember, they'd be with their hands on their hip and they go, and then they'd go, liar. And I loved that. I thought that was great.
Well, it's obviously true. So, having said that, I have got tonight.
Let's get up in it.
Well, the first thing we're going to do, though, so in this corner where we have all this stuff, one of the key items that's there is a painting.
Yep.
If you switch to camera one, John, I'll show them the painting. I think camera one's still on the painting. Right.
Oh, I love that
So this
painting.
painting was actually a painting that my father commissioned of, he paid for this painting. This was a famous clown artist. In fact, I want to say that it was like Eddie Cantor's son.
Really?
Who was the artist or something. And he had this clown painting because my mom always loved playing the clown. And he said he wanted to be somewhere in the background. That was the commission. So there's Debbie painted as a clown, and he's in the background. Well, here's the fun part about this painting. I didn't own this painting. It maybe until like 2016 or something, or whatever it was. It was way later. And what happened is there was an auction that came up, and I saw this painting, and they didn't even know what it was at the auction. They only knew that it was this clown guy that paints these famous clown oil paintings.
So he didn't know that was your mom
He
as
did
the
not know
clown
that
or
was-
Eddie next
no,
door?
Didn't know any of that. So I bought this painting at an auction based on the clown painting.
Yeah.
But I knew what it was, but I had no evidence as to what it was. None whatsoever. So what I did, I kept saying, no, really, this was hanging in my dad's bedroom forever. Even later, after the divorce, this painting was in his bedroom. No, how could that be? Okay, so here's where eBay comes into the equation. Zoom all the way in on this, John. Stay with camera one to zoom in further. Now, there is Eddie. Can you zoom in all the way? There's Eddie sitting in his bedroom. And this was his house up on Beverly Estates Drive. And if you notice over his shoulder, his left shoulder, is this painting. So all of a sudden, and this was like an interview that was done with him.
I think that was in People magazine, actually.
Well, the point was I just bought the picture on eBay, and there was the proof that this painting is right there in his shoulder. So I was able to save this painting and bring it back into the family.
Which is awesome.
Which is kind of a cool thing. Then, and to sort of bring all that back together is I guess the fun part of collecting, right? When you collect stuff. So while we got the close-up thing, so back to the story. All right, so that's a fun story, right? So, but what I didn't bring all the telegrams out, but I brought one particular telegram, it's one of my favorites, which is the telegram to me on my second birthday. And when you're sending a telegram to
a 2-year-old.
To a 2-year-old, you got to make sure that it's obviously very simple so the 2-year-old can understand it.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Because when they're reading a telegram at 2, I don't read it 2, I forgot. Do I even speak at 2?
Boys, a little bit.
I probably didn't speak
Yeah,
till I was
yeah,
like
they
10,
do a little bit.
But I was slow. But so then you ask yourself, why are we sending a telegram to a 2-year-old? Because he's not going to know what it is. Now, what you would do is you would send a toy or something to get a reaction. But no toys. In fact, he never sent me one gift that didn't have my mother's handwriting on it. But he did send me this telegram. I can walk up on that, I guess.
Oh, and does it have, so it's got the ABCs. It's a telegram for a kid.
Yeah, but of course, a kid who can actually read.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys can read that or not. Okay, so, John, can you just, anyway, you know he's writing a telegram to me, wishing me a happy birthday, knowing I can't possibly read this. So isn't this really an FU to Debbie?
You can read it and then show it if you want.
Okay, but isn't this sort of an FU to my mom?
Well, I don't know. Read it.
Well, I mean, just the telegram a little bit alone. You got to remember, this is only like a year into Liz and their marriage. So what it says is, Master Todd Fisher, Conway, which is the house I grew up on. Dear Todd, Elizabeth and I wish you a very happy birthday and hope we'll all see you soon. I love you very much. Always, Daddy. Okay, so...
Hey, but it's not every kid that can say Elizabeth Taylor was their stepmother and is in this. I'm trying to look at the bright side.
First of all, I can
If
assure
there
you
is
my
one.
dad did not send this telegram. She did.
Yes, I think so too.
Second of all, I'm not sure of the purity of the context. Maybe she was pure about it, because Liz was actually an innocent in many ways. And speaking of Liz, while we're on the Liz story, because we're talking about Liz, right?
Yes.
A lot of people judge my father pretty harshly. Let's get back to this on camera one, John. Okay. A lot of people judge my dad harshly. This is Liz when my dad left my mom for Liz. So you know, I mean, I'm not justifying the whole maneuver, but I can sort of say I could see what went wrong or went right or whichever way you want to look at it. But I love showing this to people because if you really don't understand how a guy could get tempted and off track, you know, you haven't run into that woman right there, who was a force to be reckoned with on her own. Zoom in on it, John. I mean, this lady.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's.
You tell me what you see.
I see a woman that any man would have a hard time saying no to. Yeah, that's what I see.
Now, let's take it one step further.
Yeah.
They're all best friends. Liz and my mom's best friends.
No, I think that was the thing that got people so worked up.
Yes, it was. Part
Because
of it.
that is a woman's worst nightmare. It should be a man's worst nightmare. It happens
Of course
both
it
ways.
is.
And, you know, it would make you just feel, it's bad enough, but it would make you feel even worse. Yeah.
But now let's
That's a
look
betrayal.
let's look at the circumstances.
Yeah,
Mike Todd dies in a plane crash.
right.
According to Liz, many years later I find out, she tells me the elaborate story that Mike Todd was the love of her life and spent hours talking to me about Mike Todd, in fact, and felt like some connection to me because I was named after Mike Todd. So she downloaded on me, and Mike Todd was the love of her life. Just like a minute ago, my dad on the Larry King show says Liz was the love of his life. Okay, it's all a matter of perspective. Well, Liz did not say, oh, you know, your dad, he was the love of my life. No of those words didn't come up. In fact, his name never came up in any of the conversations with Liz, interestingly enough. But Mike Todd came up all the time. So Mike Todd dies in this plane crash. She's shell-shocked from that. As Carrie likes to say, my father rushed to her side, gradually moving around to her front. And that was like one of her favorite jokes. But it wasn't a joke. It's actually what happened. And, you know, I guess can't you sort of see that?
What do you mean? In what way?
It's what happened, but can't you sort of go, I sort of get that. No, one girl says, who is 20-something years old. Interesting. Okay, what about you?
You know, my thoughts about
it takes two to tango. The woman just crosses her legs, and that party's over. So it wouldn't matter that he's standing at her front if her legs are crossed.
Yes, but my grandmother used to always say this to me because she was a very wise soul, and she used to say, I want you to listen to what I'm saying to you now. And I'd say, okay. And she'd say, it's hard for a man to stand up when a woman lays down. And I had to think about that at 12. I'm like,
yeah, that would be tough at 12.
Let me just think about what this means. And she must have seen the look on my face. And she said, in other words, unless it's rape, you have the last say. And now this is a big thing for a 12 or 13-year-old girl to hear, and it really did stay with me because it gave me all the power. And so she was always saying, just say no, keep your legs crossed, don't, you know, do anything that you feel pressured to do. Think about things. If that's the right, you like that, Sam? Think about things, you know, if is it the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? You know, you have to.
Oh yeah.
You have to get out of your, I guess, your desires. You know, long enough to ask yourself some pretty hard questions. So that
well,
would be.
as you can imagine, my father was.
But no,
mesmerized.
I know he was mesmerized, but nonetheless.
She was not, but she was in
finish your
rebound,
business.
heartbreak, break, rebound, all that. No, you know, there wasn't anybody around to
For
say,
her,
you sure
I
you're not
can
in a
understand
rebound?
it a little bit more because she was not in her right mind.
Okay, so when she sat me down at Carrie's house, the first time I ever had a long talk with her, she wanted to go there. She was trying to explain how important Mike Todd was and when he died, how what it did to her and the frame of mind she was in. And then it started to go into almost like I'm going to explain why what happened, why I allowed it to happen. Mm-hmm. And I stopped her, you know, and I said, you don't have to explain this. You know, I'm 40 years old.
Here's something interesting.
Yes.
Diane Vogt, she said, watch Tristan Rogers in State of Mind, which is Maurice's show that we did. He said Elizabeth never could be alone. So isn't that interesting that she and Carrie had the same Because that's a kind of an affliction of sorts, a person that can't be alone.
Well, if you also read that, remember I read that Christmas card on the show a while back?
Yeah, and she said, "Please love me."
Please.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, but listen to this carefully. Listen to these words. So you write a Christmas card to your husband and you say, Eddie, I love you. Please love me too. I mean, it's like, it's odd framing of words.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
You know, and I kept that card because I was like stunned. Now, you know how I got that card? That card,
eBay.
no.
I know you find some really amazing
That would have
family
been
things
that
on
had a hell
eBay
of a
once
thing
in
on
a
eBay.
while.
No,
And
that
I'm like,
actually
really? How'd
that
they
was
get it?
given to me by the Elizabeth Taylor estate. So
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so that came,
Yeah.
and then so some things come around. My father sold and lost everything. He abandoned things in warehouses and storage units and had nothing in the end.
Yeah.
No history, zero. Isn't that, But I mean, it goes also to his affliction. Let's not, he just
Well, your
couldn't
dad
hold on
was a
to it.
narcissist, first of all.
But I believe
So
he was also.
so
I
let's,
believe he was also bipolar.
Oh,
like
that's
Carrie.
interesting. Yeah.
I've always felt that about
Did
him.
you, well, I guess that's kind of a hard thing to, I don't know.
It was not discussed in those days very much.
But when you think of somebody in terms of something as serious as narcissism, there's just so much behavior that it can't be accounted for because there is no, there's no,
But
they don't
moods-
worry about
but
hurting
mood
people's
swings,
feelings.
but mood swings, well, that was all there.
Yeah, they don't worry about
he
how
had
anybody
huge
else
mood
feels.
swings,
Yeah.
and he could go into heavy depression.
Yeah.
And maybe more of depression than I'd ever see him be fully manic.
Yeah.
Like Carrie could get wildly manic.
Yeah.
Eddie, I don't remember, of course I wasn't around him all the time, but I don't remember him being like heavy manic the way Carrie would be. But depression, yes, and drug use. So it's a dual diagnosis. It's a triple diagnosis. Narcissist, drug addict, and manic or depressed.
Okay, so the question, is it true, Nicole Johnson? Hi, Nicole. It's good to see you. You and your mom are here. Todd, is it true that Sinatra tried to talk Debbie out of marrying your dad?
Not exactly. The story is more, it took place before she even met my dad. How about that?
Yes.
So I told the story in Bright Lights, and I've told the story, I guess, on the show, but the long and the short of it is they were making the movie The Tender Trap together. Mm-hmm. And in that movie, he was about 10 years older than her, roughly, I believe. And he said to her, she was in her very, early 20s, if not like 20. And he said, Debbie, I just want to give you a little piece of advice, never marry a singer.
Yeah.
And they laughed even, when this was said. But of course, she went right out within a year and married my father, who happened to be a singer. And so there is truth to the story in the sense that he said, don't marry a singer. But he didn't have Eddie in mind. They weren't even dating yet.
Yeah.
So he was actually prophesying, it was a Frank Sinatra prophecy. And then later, Carrie goes on and also does not take Frank's advice. And she goes out and marries a singer.
Yes.
But she knew the story at this point. They both did, and they both went out and married short Jewish singers.
Well, I mean, it can't
do you
be
make
all
of that?
bad. I think there must be something to it. I don't know. It
Well,
must,
as you
must be some
John,
some
give me the camera for a
fringe
second.
benefit to that.
My mother says there's only a little bit of difference. That was a joke in her show.
Was it really?
Between the Gentile and the Jew, there's just a little bit of difference. And the audience would go,
Oh, that would be me too. I probably wouldn't
no, but they
get
didn't
it.
expect it out of her, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Telling a
but
penis
your mom,
joke.
she was very funny on stage and really funny off stage. So, all right.
All right,
so
we're moving
next,
on.
Moving on to the next show and tell item.
That was all very interesting. However, this is a very different.
Do you know I've never seen you get this worked up over it?
Over what?
Over it. The story that you told.
What, the Eddie story, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's because the Eddie story is very personal.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth of the matter is that there were times in my life, especially with his second book, where he trashed my sister, where I was enraged about it. And had he been near me at the time, I probably would have decked him.
Yeah. Yep.
He said this. Okay, so the story is Carrie makes Star Wars. She makes all this money. She's probably in the middle of doing the second one or maybe even the third one. She owns this beautiful New York apartment
Yeah.
right on Central Park. And he's out of a place to live. He says to Carrie, could I live in your apartment for a little while till I get on my feet? Carrie, of course, says, of course, no problem. So he moves into my sister's apartment, living and charging everything to her, living in the house. And this goes on. It's a year later. It's a year and a half later.
No way.
Carrie is staying in hotels. She can't even go to her own place. And my mother says, that's it. It's got to stop. And, my sister's like, no, don't do anything. And she says, no, I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to see him. Holy shit. This could go very bad. So if you could imagine, there's a knock at the door.
Yes.
Eddie opens the door. Of course, they let her in because they don't ask. No announcement. Knock, knock. Who is it? It's Debbie. Door opens. What's up? I mean, like Carrie's dead. I mean, what are you going to say? She just goes right into it. She takes out her checkbook and she says, "How much is it going to cost to get you out of here?" Pick a number. 10,000, 15,000. What? Just tell me a number. I'm going to write you a check right now, and you're out of here. I need you out of here. And she wrote him a check and got him out.
And Carrie got to go home.
And Carrie eventually got to go back.
Okay, I have
Segue. No.
Oh, okay.
Segue. Here's the same story told by Eddie Fisher in his book, the man who just got through telling us on Larry King that he wasn't in love with Debbie when she had me, and whatever else spewed out of his mouth. Here's what actually happened according to Eddie Fisher. He says in his book, he tells the whole story about Debbie arriving and offering to pay him to get out of the apartment. But here's how he surmises the whole thing. He says, had I known that she would have paid me to stay away all these years, I wouldn't have done it for free. Ugh. When I was in the Santa Monica Mall when I read that. The book came out. I was in the mall. I bought the book. I was sitting there in the food court, and I read that chapter. I got up out of my seat, and I wanted to kill him.
Oh, I know. There's nothing worse than somebody having a gigantic megaphone because they're well-known or whatever, and they're talking about you and your life and your personhood, or in your case, your mother's, and you're reading it and you're thinking, what? It's a very bad feeling, and it's the ultimate to be able to let go of it.
But here's the weird part about it. He's gooey about me in the book.
Well, Scott Michaels just said something a little bit ago that Carrie said she wanted, hi Scott. Carrie said she wanted her DNA fumigated after Eddie's book.
You couldn't say it any better.
Well, he's, remember Scott?
But on the other hand, Carrie would not be.
He has the inside track.
She wouldn't be who she is without his DNA. So I overrule that thought. But I understand the sentiment because you are just. First of all, he also trashed my mother in that book too, and what I almost.
Do you remember the Janie Hickok said? Did he cash the check?
Oh, he moved out of course, and continued to charge everything to Carrie in the meantime. I mean, it was. By the way, I don't think anybody cared about that. Carrie never complained. I'm the one complaining now. But, she never said anything. My mother was the one that was like, "Look, enough's enough. Okay, help him out for a month or 2 or 6 or 5 or whatever. Pick a number. But a year and a half later, get the hell out of here." All right, moving right along.
Sharon Amorosa said, Eddie had mental illness and we need to forgive him.
I totally do. In fact, people came up to me over the years, even at the hotel, and they'd say, would you like me to kick your dad's ass, if he's ever around? And I said, we're kind of over it.
Yeah.
And the truth is, as he got much older, past these books, and had no attention on him anymore, and he married Betty Lynn.
Yeah.
So he married a very wealthy Chinese lady.
Yep.
And it was partly because if you look at the film of him on Larry King, he looks Chinese.
That's because Carrie said that.
Well, he had the worst facelifts in the world.
Yeah.
But they literally pulled back on his eyes so much that he started to look Chinese.
Is that why you don't want me to get anything done?
No, I never said that. You can do anything you want.
Oh,
Within reason.
no,
I mean,
you didn't say I couldn't. I
No,
didn't
I
say
never
that.
said that.
But you said, I really wish you wouldn't.
Well, I just think that you are naturally stunning.
Well, thank you. And I think it's getting to the point where I think it's just too late to do it. What's the point?
Well, I don't know. Men.
But you know what? I don't want to look like this.
No, you can't
Yeah.
fuck with that
I
stuff.
don't.
You know,
Todd.
Twice. F-bomb twice. But these are big, these desire emphasis, so that's what the F-bomb is for. Okay, speaking of emphasis.
Okay, let's move on to the next show and tell item, which I'm very excited about because I've never seen
Well,
any of these.
first of all, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm
well, no, you
previewing.
can't because we have to give stuff away
Well,
and
I
go
am-
eat dinner.
I'm previewing.
Okay.
So here is a box from my mom's shoe collection. And
Now, see, this I can't wait to see because
so
I
what
haven't
do you-
been.
what
I
do you
haven't
s-
been up in
What
it.
do you see right there? What does that say?
Kim Novak. I
Yep.
didn't even know she danced. Those are her white ballet shoes. This
Okay.
is going to be really
So what's
good.
kind of cool beyond all of that is not only are these the shoes, but they're signed by her.
Oh, that is so cool. You have to get up to the camera with that. That's such a cool item. That is amazing. I know there's a large collection of shoes. I've seen the collection on
There
the
are.
shelf, but I have never gone through it or looked to see who it was.
She's not really a dancer. You know, in the movie Pal Joey, Frank Sinatra is producing a show. She is, one of the girls in the show, and that's, So anyway, kind of a cool item.
I love
my
that.
mother, yeah, so... But what we'll do is we'll get some clips together. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow it.
So you want to have clips of what these
Yeah, I
shoes
wanna
danced
show-
in. First of all, another person is here that has been here in a really long time. Philip Bambarger is in the house. Philip, welcome. It's so nice to have you here live. I know you're usually working. And I just noticed that Ferruccio is here tonight, which is really good because I know that last night he was having a rough time of it.
Well, so here is the other point of why I wanted to have clips of some of these, because some of these are like really obscure, at least as much as I love film, I even consider this obscure. So here is an item, Joanne Woodward from On the Terrace.
From the Terrace.
From the Terrace.
Yeah.
That's a movie I don't even remember off the top of my head. Maybe I've never even seen it.
Yeah.
But these are her shoes from that. Actually, they're very beautiful. These are, shoes that actually a girl would wear today, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, those those are classics. Who made? Let me see. Now, what's interesting is there is no shoemaker in here.
Well, they might be studio built.
They are studio built.
But
shoes.
here's the cool thing about these shoes.
They are absolutely
here.
studio built. Joanne Woodward.
Signed by her.
That's awesome. Let's see what size she was. See, there's no size in it either. That's how you know they're studio built. And her name, it says 20th Century Fox, X-62.
So that's
Woodward.
that's the production code.
But look at, they're very,
I mean, wouldn't you wear a shoe like that? I mean, like
Yeah, I
as a-
would.
Like
Yeah.
I could see these girls wearing these on Fox News.
yeah.
What about you? Oh yeah.
I like them too. They're
So,
great.
See, so there's a young girl who would wear them. So these are crossing over the time barrier.
Yes.
Because these things are from like what, the 50s probably, or 60s minimum.
Yep, they're beautiful.
Now,
I love
How much
shoes,
farther am I going
so
with
this
all
is
this?
really great for me.
here, let's go this way. Oh yeah, these are good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, these are good. Okay.
Are they goodies?
Well, I mean, I happen to think this girl.
How many pairs of shoes do we have like this?
100.
Really? Oh, such. I would love to see in a museum just the shoe collection. You could
Yeah,
have it with
yeah.
the clip of the movie that they were in, and you could see the shoe, and then, as you always do.
Have you ever wondered why I kept these after all these years? Because it was certainly up to me to dump them any time.
Well,
I always felt that way, that it was an interesting thing.
yeah, I think that like a part of a museum that's just famous people's shoes from movies they danced in or wore it in. I think that's really interesting, and I think a lot of people would
Well,
enjoy
I think
that.
you find yourself asking that question that I just asked Samantha, which is, would you wear these?
Sure.
Is this a pair of shoes you would buy or wear? Mm-hmm. And what's weird is, in most cases, a lot of these shoes are extremely contemporary in design. So here's the next one.
I didn't even know studio built shoes.
So this lady is probably the best dancer ever,
Oh,
and had some of the
does
longest
her first name have
legs
3 letters?
ever.
Sid Charisse, I knew it. God, she was incredible.
So this is silk stockings, which you know,
Was that the name of the film?
yeah, now these are made a little different.
Well, those are dancing shoes. Look at the heel.
Yeah, see, they're
Yeah.
beefed up.
Yes.
But again, a
It
nice
needs
looking
a
shoe,
nice
but also
sturdy-
look, it's signed inside.
Oh, she did. Oh, these are so cool. These are also studio built shoes. And
Production codes on the bottom.
her feet were small.
A 6.
That's a small foot. But her legs were so long, so she probably was tall, right?
She was very tall.
But it's very unusual for a woman to have a size 6 foot when she's
Well,
tall.
maybe I'm just guessing. It just says 6 on the bottom. May
It
have
looks
nothing
like
to do
6 to me.
Well, it may have nothing to do with anything. Well, you wear what size? Can you? Then
8.
then you wouldn't fit in there. So let's see.
Oh my gosh! Hold on a second.
What would happen?
You see it?
John, go to the 2-shot.
Wonder
Let's see.
if-
We want to see Kat try these on.
But there's my shoe. Look at that.
All right, well, let's just see. Oh, you're never going to fit in there. You have giant feet.
No, these are just giant looking. Let me just see. I feel bad putting my foot in Sid
You can
Cerese's.
put your shoe. I
Okay.
think that's half the fun. Look
First
how
of all,
tiny those are.
No, there's no way. That's a 6, and not only that, it's a narrow foot.
You will not
Where
actually
I
said
have,
that. It
you
said
know,
B.
That's a medium.
But see, here's the reason.
I
so-
think it's a W.
See, it actually. Oh, well, like a Y.
A wide, yeah. But that is very, very awesome to have Sid Charisse's dancing shoes. And how did she dance on those? Because just when I had my toes in it, it felt like it was like this. The angle of it was like this. And I am well schooled in high heels after being on soap operas for 39 years. I know a little something about high heels. How did she dance in those? That's amazing. Is that all the shoes?
No, I have another one if you want.
I
You
do
another
want.
one?
Does it? I want another one. Yes.
Okay. How about Anne Margaret?
No, my favorite. Oh,
You talk
no.
about small feet.
Oh, oh my gosh. These are a 5. There's no doubt in my mind about this. Hold on. She signed them. Anne Margrock. She signed them right there.
What do you think about these, Samantha?
But they're a size 5.
But look, they have Ryan. Well,
But
I'm
Anne Margaret
I'm not talking
is
about
tiny. I mean,
Yes,
she's a
but
little woman. Isn't that a? I can't even get my hand in these. This is crazy small.
They have little rhinestones
Yes.
around
Aw,
it. And look
they
at that
do,
buckle.
right
Look
there.
at that buckle with the rhinestones.
Anne
I thought these
Margaret.
were like, just as far as shoes go, I think these are really remarkable.
Can I please meet Anne Margaret?
Now you see what it says right
I
here.
really have
You see
to
what it says
meet
on the
Anne
strip
Margaret.
right here.
What?
You see, this got the production code on it around this little strap on the back. This is what I meant though about wanting to take the time to that way I could, we could pull a clip for this. Well, it's got her name on here.
Everybody's saying to you, I don't have giant feet.
No, I say that in the nicest sense of the word. Let me have
A
that.
lot of people wear 6. I'll be darned.
Yeah, and signed by Anne Margaret. Now, for those guys out there, I mean, nobody was sexier than Anne Margaret. in the day.
For us girls, I can speak for me. I think Anne Margaret was the
in Viva Las
beautiful
Vegas,
combination of sexy and
fun.
she was sassy, she was sexy, but she was not vulgar ever. She was amazing. And you know what? She still is, but she's still with us. I have to meet Anne Margaret. It's just one of my things. I've always
we
wanted
gotta
to
work
meet.
on that one.
Yeah, we really do, because I think she must be probably in her 80s now, don't you think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
Probably just
and
hit
so I wanted to meet Doris Day, and we almost went.
You want to keep going, or we done?
Yeah,
now?
let's do one more, and then we'll give stuff away.
Okay.
Everybody's happy to see you, honey.
See me?
Yeah, because you haven't been around. Leslie Caron and Daddy Longlegs.
So dance shoes once again. These are kind of classy, right?
Sharon Amorosa says, call Ann Margaret, tell her you have her shoes. And I'll add
Well,
to
she
that,
knows
Sharon,
that 'cause she
I would
signed 'em.
say, and if you ever want to see them alive again, you will meet me at Junior's Deli on
I don't know if you can see
Ventura Boulevard.
if Kat holds it up. Go my camera. It says.
Okay, hold
Come
on.
on to my. It says right here.
Whoop.
It's got the production code and then L.
All right, hold on.
Right there.
Right
you
here.
might be able to fit into those.
Where? Which camera
My
am I
cam-
going
right there,
to?
you're on.
Okay, hold on. Camera. Oop, my
Turn it. So turn
Hold
it.
on, my battery
you
has
gotta
to come
turn it
with me.
Put that in your pocket.
All right, in my pocket it
Now
goes.
turn it. You're getting too close.
Okay,
So
turn
you
it.
could see the words right there. See the production code? It's on the inside, the production.
Yes, but I don't have my glasses
Well,
on.
don't worry about you seeing it. Let them see it. There you go.
There it is, right there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. There
now,
we go.
now those might fit you. Try those on.
No, no,
Oh yeah.
no.
Those are way bigger,
These are dance shoes.
But they're way
Notice
bigger.
that it's a little thicker here.
but way bigger, right?
No, no. This is a 6.5 at the most. At the most.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all for today.
That
on
is
the
today's show and tell. I could everybody enjoy that show and tell because I did. I couldn't wait to see the.
Well,
Yeah,
if they-
Helen Barrett says Anne Margaret is 81. Okay,
go.
that's good. There's lots of time. Nicole Johnson said, I wish I could have met Judy Holliday. She holds a very special place in my heart. I have a Judy Holliday dress.
you do.
Yeah.
Born yesterday.
Born yesterday. I have her dress from Born Yesterday. I was so happy to get that. And I want to bring that home and put it in the case, too.
There's quite a few costumes still at the
Yeah,
ranch.
that's what I mean. It's out there, so I want to bring that home and put it up. Aww. So Seth said you are the best, and thank you for this. Ron Hibbs said I loved all of it. Gina Glass, great show and tell.
Well, see, but don't you agree that showing the clip and the still picture?
Oh, I do, but I just love.
I tried to put this off entirely. She
I know.
wouldn't have it.
No, because I think people would enjoy that, and they'll enjoy seeing, the clips and other people's shoes and all that. But this was just a fun little thing.
So let
and
me.
so we had one that was a little intense, and then we had a show and tell that was, it was
It's not
fun.
intense. It's all in good. It's all in good fun. So our
It's all in good fun.
so our friends over at Time Warner.
Yes.
John, you want to show that? Okay, there you go. Sent us Blu-rays and Debbie movies to put into your giveaways.
Yes. So
So we have all sorts of cool things from Time Warner. So, pay it back to them, guys. Buy some DVDs of movies,
oh, they do.
the MGM movies. So we were just talking about this particular
They
movie
do.
right here. There's the Tender
The
Trap.
Tender Trap. Yes.
This was the movie where Sinatra is telling my mother, "Whatever you do, don't marry a singer."
Okay,
So
let's
that
see
should
what.
be,
Let's
that
see
should be your giveaway.
what else is in there.
Hit the Deck.
Okay.
It started with a kiss. I Love Melvin. The Singing Nun. How Sweet It Is. The Unsinkable Molly Brown. Susan Slept Here. And Athena.
Hold on. Athena. We have the dress from Susan Slept Here in the
Yes,
case.
we do.
Athena. I've never seen this one.
Okay.
Okay, what else?
Maybe I'll give you that. That's it. What do
right.
you mean? You want me to hand you
So-
some more? Well, what would you want to do tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to give away. We'll give away 2 of these.
You want another one? Here. How Sweet It Is cool.
How Sweet It Is.
James Garner. and
Oh
my mom.
yes, I love this movie. How
It's
Sweet It
frickin-
Is.
I have the bathing suit and some of the costumes in that movie. That my mother actually gets as naked as she's ever gotten in a movie in that movie.
Yeah?
They're in Italy and they rent the villa.
Oh yes, I remember that.
So if you
Yes.
want to see my mother in a bubble bath naked, there it is. And
So
in a bikini.
if you have one more,
I do.
okay, we'll give away 4, and then I'll give away 4 gift certificates, and we're off to the races.
Well-
Now, we don't have Ryan because Ryan is in Florida still. He's going home to Pennsylvania tomorrow.
Let's do Susan
The only
Slept Here.
person I know that gets on a plane and flies toward a
The
hurricane for
Well,
a
he
vacation.
thinks he savvies himself some kind of storm chaser.
Well,
So there is Susan Slept Here, which was actually produced by Howard Hughes. And this is the story that I tell. We've shown the costume before.
yeah.
I show that I've shown that costume, but I've also told the story. That's the where she stole the costume right off the set.
Right.
And then I have that interview which I ran for you.
Dick Powell
of
and
Wolf.
Debbie Reynolds. So these are the 4 movies we'll be giving away tonight, and then we're going to give away 4.
Now, how are we going to do that
gift
since you don't have
certificates.
Ryan and all that?
I brought my blackboard and my chalk. That's how we're doing
Okay.
it tonight, okay?
So explain how that works.
So I'm going to think of a number. All right? I'm going to think of a number,
Yeah.
and then I'll tell them what it's between, because I've had to do this for the last 2 shows because I haven't had Ryan or anybody in the hot seat with me. So I'll think of a number. I'll give them what it's between. Whoever guesses the number first wins the prize.
Well,
Okay?
it's on you, though, to verify, right?
That's
You don't
okay.
have anybody
I don't
else.
have my eraser, but I have these, and I have
I
my
have a
blackboard.
chalkboard eraser.
You do?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I mean, would that be the same as the grease pencil eraser? Is it?
You know, I don't know. I use whatever is in, tissues are fine, whatever it is. Okay, I'm going to write down a number.
Go for
I'm
it.
not going to let you see me do it, though, because you guys are really good. Okay, all right. I'm thinking of a number. Let me get my phone over here. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. What number am I thinking of? I'm going to make it a little bigger.
That's too easy, right?
Just a little bigger. Okay, hold on. I got to make sure because when you're doing everything, okay, so hold on. Let me just make it bigger. All right. I'm thinking of a number
sit on the
between
step.
1 and 10. I see it. Let me just see who it is and make sure no one did it before. Elizabeth Gandy. Elizabeth Gandy, you got it. Number 7. Very, very, very good, Elizabeth. You have won the copy of Susan Slept Here.
Now,
Okay?
we better write this down, right? No one's writing
No,
any
no,
of this.
I always go back and watch this
All right.
again so we know it. So Elizabeth Gandy will be sending you this on Monday. Susan Slept Here for Elizabeth
A
Gandy.
Blu-ray, newly remastered.
Newly remastered Blu-ray. Okay, here we go. All right, so now what did I do with the
Now, by the
chalk?
way, if you don't have a Blu-ray player,
Yeah.
just let us know. We'll swap it out for a regular DVD, a different movie, but DVD.
Yeah, just let me
The
know.
Blu-
You can
obviously
write
the-
me on the back end and say, I don't have a Blu-ray player or I do have a Blu-ray player.
Right,
Okay, my next number is between 20 and 30. Between 20 and 30, my next number. Putting my chalk here. Let's see here. Everybody, you did really good. Now, this one's between 20 and 30, so it's a 2-digit number. A 2-digit number between 20 and 30. And we're on a delay, so this is coming through. Everyone's congratulating Elizabeth Gandy. So we're still on the delay here. I think they made our delay longer because of your language.
Are you not allowed to say the F-bomb?
No.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Oh wow. Oh, wow. You know what, Kathy Gans? Remember how you used to win this all the time? You did it again. So I am really amazed. You were the first person to get it. Remember we used to say Kathy Gans was psychic? That's how well she did with this. Congratulations, Kathy. Furthermore, I don't think that you have won in a really long time. So here we go. But you used to win this all the
Well,
time.
aren't you going to give it to her?
Yeah. So what you give it to here? You got. I'm all by my lonesome here.
You're going to give her that one?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. There you go.
All right. Which one are you giving? Oh, you're giving her the Tender Trap.
The Tender Trap. Exactly.
She's very lucky. Blu-ray of the Tender Trap, newly remastered, shot in CinemaScope. Very beautiful little movie. Sammy Khan, I believe, did the story. Yes, Sammy Khan.
Okay. Elizabeth Gandy said she actually.
I actually
does
have the
it.
lenses and the camera that shot this.
Wow. Okay, so we are set there. How many? A lot of people got that number, but the first person was Kathy. So there you go. All right, I have my chalk. I'm going to go between. Let's see. I am thinking of a number.
Here's the sentiment of the time. I was like, Debbie finally stands up to Liz. Get sweet revenge. That's what the public wanted to see at the time.
Yeah, that's what they needed to see at
Yeah.
the time. Okay, I'm thinking of a number between 30 and 40. Between 30 and 40, so that would be a 2-digit number. I'm looking at my phone now to make sure I get this right. Between 30 and 40, and you take home the prize. The prize for this one, of course, 30. Okay. Hey, William Hirsch, how are you? William Hirsch.
So who won?
Nobody yet? All right.
It's not that hard.
No.
It's only 10 numbers.
Nope. I know, but still, we're on a delay, so
Okay.
it takes a while. Jama Taylor guessed 34. That is not it. Francine Lobner, 28. No. Diane, 33. No. Philip, 34 on Philip Bamberger. Nope. Barbara Hammond, you are the wiener. There it is. All right. Barbara, 32 was the number. And right after Barbara came Sherry McDonald King with the same number. So you guys, we're just a hair apart. There you
Move
go,
you,
Barbara.
But some can stop you in your
Let's
tracks.
see here. Barbara Hammond. Barbara Hammond. How Sweet It Is yours. How sweet it is. I love this film so much. Was this the one that had the crazy car in it that I love so much?
No, that's the one where they rent the vacation home in Italy.
Yeah. I love this one too, though. I get those two confused all the time. How Sweet It Is. Barbara Hammond. Do you want me to send it to you, or should I give it to you when I see you?
Who used to use that line all the time?
How Sweet It Is was that Jackie Gleason.
How sweet it is!
Now, you have to give me some props for knowing the answer to that.
That was excellent.
I love a good trivia question, and
That
that
was a good one.
was it. Okay, I am now thinking of a number. Hold
We could have
on.
made that the giveaway.
What's that?
The answer to that question could have been the giveaway to the next movie.
You know, I'm
I have the
always
next movie
I'm
right
always
here.
a big fan of trivia, and everyone on this show loves trivia as well. You
Well,
know?
there you have it. But
Yeah.
you jumped in front of everybody, and they could have won by
Well,
having the
so
answer.
let me think of a trivia question in regards to what you were showing earlier. Okay, and maybe see if people can remember a something they just saw. See how we see how much they were paying attention with detail. Okay, what do you think about this idea?
You want me to come up with something, you mean?
No, I can do it because I'll write it down.
You want to? Okay, I got one for you. Ask what movie Anne Margaret was in with Steve McQueen.
What movie was Anne Margaret in with Steve McQueen?
First person to get it.
Okay, but I don't even know the answer. So, and you have your mic on your mouth.
I know.
So don't.
let me see your phone.
No, my phone. Okay.
I'll just look for myself.
Okay, hold on.
Or you could read all the answers as they come in.
Yeah, but you're the only one that knows the answer, so you watch for the answer
Okay.
because I'm
they're
not
coming
writing that
in.
one down.
A lot of people are still mentioning Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody else is guessing numbers still.
Eddie's back up on the screen.
I know, because I'm going to close with him.
Okay.
All right, so you all heard the question. One person said Bullet. Another person said Tammy. The Cincinnati Kid is the correct answer. Jean-Eric St. James.
Oh, John Eric St. James. Hello, John Eric. Welcome tonight. And you are the wiener. So what has he won?
He has won, over here, John, a copy of Athena.
You know what?
Athena is one you haven't seen, right? Janie Powell, Edwin Perdue, Jerry Reynolds, and Vic Damone and Louis Serron. But this is where my mother found out about Vic Damone Scruvier messing with Pierre Angeli. And she never got over it. My mom always hated him because he mistreated Pierre Angeli so bad.
Was he married?
Oh, yeah.
And so it was an affair?
See, there was another trivia question you could have done, but see, you jumped all over it already.
I just ruin all the good moments, don't I? Okay, so let's
the trivia is-
Okay.
Well,
Congratulations, John Eric. I'm so happy you won.
first
okay.
of all, so Pierre Angeli, did not, died a young death.
And James Dean was crazy about her.
And
smitten.
Vic Damone beat on her, and emotionally and physically.
Oh, so your mom,
And my mom didn't dig that.
yeah. What did she die from so early?
I don't recall, but I know my mother never got over it because
I know somebody out
they all
there will
became
know.
good friends during this movie.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of a corny movie, but it's fun. I think there's some weightlifters involved, which would explain why you have, Vic Damone, because he's the big
Right.
Hercules guy.
All right, another trivia question.
Oh, I have. Well, we don't have any more. You want to get more DVD? You did your 4.
No, I know, but I have 4 gift certificates
Oh.
to give out. So we'll do a number for now.
No, I can give you a question. I mean, if
You want to give me a question?
I mean,
Something we talked about tonight.
Something we
Yeah,
talked
something we
about
talked
tonight.
about tonight. I'll just put my board here for now. So let's see here. We talked about Eddie and Debbie and,
Okay,
okay,
I've got it.
all right. Something that you said tonight or that you,
Well, we've talked about, well, we gave away the movie Susan Slept Here.
right.
In the movie Susan Slept Here, my mother plays a runaway girl. She goes to this writer's house. The police bring him there sort of for it's kind of a trumped up concept, but
Yeah.
they send her there for sort of like protection over the holidays. And my mother is eating walnuts in his house. What is she cracking the walnuts open with?
Oh, I don't even know the answer to that.
Right, I didn't think you did, but
Yeah.
I will just say that,
Here, let me get the comments up.
yeah, go ahead, here, well, Kat,
No, I'm
Kat?
going to, what?
Kat,
She died
look at
at
me.
39.
That's what it was. She was using this.
Yeah, but now you,
Okay, but I haven't said anything. No one can see what I was pointing at.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Seth
right?
Robichaux.
Of course, he would know. Does he
Seth
know?
Robichaux,
What did he say?
he said, and it was fast. I mean, it was lightning fast. The
What?
Oscar.
So hold it up.
Okay. So the Oscar.
So my mother in
She
this
cracked
movie
walnuts
is
with
cracking
this,
walnuts.
which would do it because this is extremely heavy.
Absolutely would
Yeah.
crack walnuts. No question about it.
Yeah.
So my mother is cracking open walnuts with an Oscar that belonged to the writer in the movie, Dick Powell. And,
Love it.
So that's a good answer. So,
Okay, Seth,
now,
you have
so-
won a
so-
$25 gift certificate.
No, let's give him a movie. We got.
Well, we'll
the
give. Okay,
No,
now
no,
wait
no.
a minute. You
We-
don't understand. Seth buys a lot of my makeup, so let's give him the gift certificate because I have a
Ask
shopping.
him, what would he rather have, a gift certificate or a movie from Time Warner?
Okay.
Just ask the question.
Seth,
Simple.
it's up to you. Gift certificate or movie. And I have a shopping show coming up Tuesday.
We're gonna let
He
him-
might
we're-
want to use it.
That's fine, then he could do that. Or he can
Okay.
pick a movie out of the box.
Okay.
So, Seth, what's it going to be?
Let's see what Seth says. Oh, so many people got it too, right? Oh, that's so great. I would have guessed a hammer too. Okay, let's see. I haven't heard from Seth yet.
Well, then he gets nothing.
Brilliant comedic timing on Debbie. So he's okay. We're burning time. So Seth, I will ask you that on a private chat, and let's move on to the next one. So what's the next question?
You want a trivia question?
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
Yes. Oh, okay. I think I have one because.
Okay, go.
Okay, I have one. So when he showed the painting of his mom as a clown and Eddie was in the picture with her, he also showed a photograph that proved that the painting actually did live inside Eddie's house. And I mentioned where that picture was from, which was a magazine publication. Which publication was that picture from, according to me? So I did mention the name of where I thought it was from. What did I say? How about that?
We're doing sort of this is more of a attention, whether you're paying attention.
I
or
do
not.
this
It's
to
not-
waiters all the time.
not
I'll
like
say,
a
my
trivia."
name is Kat, and this is my friend Mark. What's your name? Jack. Hi, Jack. Okay.
I feel that Seth is communicating with you. I feel it.
You feel it? Frank, Frank. We have a lot of people. Hold on a second. Seth is taking the gift certificate.
Okay.
So, Gina Glass has guessed first, People Magazine. Everybody, a lot of people did, but Gina Glass, you were the first one. And remember, I see things differently because I'm the one broadcasting.
No, but that's good recalls. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
so
impressed.
Gina
I'm
Glass,
not
you
su-
have won a $25 gift certificate. If I don't have your, I don't know if I have your email address, so will you send it to me in my messenger and send me your email address so that I have it? I know I have Seth, so that's good. Anybody that won a movie, if I don't have your email address, go ahead and private messenger it to me since you're on my page anyway. And sweet, okay, we're going on. We have 2 more.
All right.
All right. So let me see here. So I do that. When I go into a restaurant, I'll say, "My name is Kat. This is my friend Mark. What's your name?" waiter says, Jack. I said, nice to meet you, Jack. We're going to be great customers today. Then about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, half hour, however long it is after we eat, I say, okay, Jack,
What's my name?
to double your tip, can you remember my name? And it's almost never they remember. You know what I mean? Because, and it's so fun, but it's important to listen.
They got to go home
that.
feeling bad about that.
Yeah. So everybody was paying attention tonight, because everybody really got People magazine. Okay. All right. So here we go. So
okay, I got a trivia question.
Okay.
This is we've talked about this all night long.
Okay.
The first person to tell me why my father claims he left Connie Stevens. What did my father claim on Larry King is the reason he left Connie Stevens?
Oh yeah, you did say this many times tonight.
Right.
And
So
it's kind of a funny line, so if people
No, it's
will
likely to
remember
be
it.
remembered by
It's
certain
likely
people.
to be
I'm giving,
remembered.
It's good.
It's memorable.
If you're trying to do trivia.
Thank
though.
you, Brenda. That is so sweet of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I know the answer. I
Well,
was listening.
you have to look at your
I
phone.
know, but we're on a delay. All right. Of course, you know who got it?
Oh,
Janie. Janie Hickok. Oh, you are so funny. She wouldn't put out. You have a good. You know what, Janie?
wouldn't-
You have a great sense of humor, and you also have a good memory. So you have won a $25 gift certificate.
now I just want to
and
add.
I know your
I can
email
add
address.
something to this story.
Okay.
So many years later, I became somewhat friendly with Connie.
Yeah.
And one time I was in Branson, Missouri,
Yep.
and the Gatling brothers were playing in Branson, and she had dated the drummer or something when they were much younger.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but we were both at the show together, and she and I sat together in the show. And I mentioned this story of Eddie claiming she didn't put out, and she says that he was cheating on me at the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, so who the hell would put out when your husband's cheating on you? It's like a small omission to
By
the
the
story.
way, Connie Stevens is what a beautiful woman, and
Very
even
pretty.
today, when
But
she
don't
was,
you think it's like so typical of an Eddie story that you just tell the part that she's not putting out? You don't say she's
don't say
not
why.
putting out because I'm screwing everybody else in town at the time. Oh, that small little object problem there. Yeah. Okay, Eddie, once again, you've been busted.
all right, one more, come up with one more, and that was a good one.
That was a good one. Who
That was
won?
a good one. Eileen
Who won?
Fetterman, who
Oh,
won?
what was her name? I forgot what she said.
It was Janie.
Oh, Janie.
Yeah, Janie won. Yay, Janie! I'm super happy. I have a shopping show on Tuesday at 3:30.
All right, here comes the next question. This
okay.
is a very.
You can
this
spend
is
it there.
not going to be easy for some of you,
Okay.
but some will remember. So if we're doing retention, since
Yes.
this has been more of a, are you paying attention?
This is a good way to go because people just listened. Let's see who remembers.
This one is in honor of my sister. How many times did Todd drop the F-bomb tonight? Huh? That's a good one, right, everybody?
Wait a minute.
How many
Hold
times
on.
did Todd
I have to
drop
look
the
in my
F-bomb
crystal
tonight?
ball.
No, it's an. I kept track.
I think I see it. Okay. All right.
Let's see what happens.
Yes.
This was. By the way, I don't usually drop the F-bomb, but Eddie gets me worked.
Yeah,
up.
you were spun up there. Okay.
Well, what can I tell you?
Yeah, you were spun up
Don't
there.
mess with my mother.
Okay. I'm looking, and the camera's on me, so
Yeah,
let
that's
it
fine.
stay on me while
Yeah.
Todd tells me with his fingers how many. Okay. All right. See, if people are guessing what I thought too. I think you're wrong.
What is the guess?
Well, I would have said 3, and people are guessing 3.
Well,
I think it was 3. I think you
Go to the videotape.
let's
No,
go
no,
to the
no, no,
videotape.
I tell you what.
No, I think it was 3
Okay,
because
so if everybody thinks it's 3, it could be.
Yeah.
So if that's the case,
and
then
the number
give-
1 person that thinks it's 3 is Belinda Faye Vaughn.
All right, so go with that.
Okay, so Belinda Faye, you've won a $25 gift certificate, and I have your email address, so I will send it to you. And
Thank
that
God,
was
we
that
just-
was
we
a
got
good one.
through-
Yeah,
that was exhausting.
You did 2 distinct ones,
No,
and
but
then
the-
you snuck a quickie.
Yeah, you're
in
right.
There
was a
You
slip
s-
one in there.
And of course, I tweaked.
No, but I covered
Not
it and we
because
moved
of the
right
word,
along.
but
No, but I didn't
just
stop
because
the
of where
show.
we are.
Normally you
Yeah.
shop the whole train over it, and I'm just like, that's not that important. I mean, to stop the train over an F-bomb. I mean, come
No,
on.
but
if
it's-
every time the train stopped from an F-bomb out of Carrie's
take
mouth,
forever to
we
get
never would have been
anywhere.
anyplace.
I know, that
She
is
never
so
would have left
true.
Beverly Hills. We
That's
never
so
would have
true.
finished Star Wars movies. Nothing would have happened.
Well, I just want to say how great it is because we had so many wonderful people here tonight and people that I haven't seen in a
You
long
should start
time.
using that word.
Which one?
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is. That's right. I'm so happy that we got to spend finally time with Mr. Fisher tonight. Thank
We're
you very
going to
much.
close
for,
though with Eddie lying to us.
oh,
on
you know
Larry
what I
King.
wish we could close with? And the show's over. I mean, I might get put in Facebook jail, but my favorite thing, because no
But I
matter
won't be able
what
to find it.
Well, it's that beautiful. We played it at Get Your Fire Back. It's the song from Sound of Music that your dad
Yeah,
and
but
Andy
it takes
Williams.
too much time. Let's go.
Okay, but we got to do that one.
We will.
See, I would have shown that
do,
after
re, mi.
because do re mi because we've dissed Eddie tonight.
Okay, all right. I'll
So
find
here's
it.
the thing.
I'll find it.
It's-
I'll
so
find
we
it.
have to-
It's not hard to find.
We
I
have
just-
to do something nice because
right.
you can't just like, diss. You have to be balanced and show something nice. Because Eddie, no matter what he did or said, was an incredibly talented man.
Oh no!
And
I
so-
told you he was charming beyond
yeah,
charming.
and charming. Yes,
he
very
really
much
was.
so.
He was awesome.
But I do think we should play something nice, just to balance it out. And I happen to love this because when I was a little girl, I had such a crush on Andy Williams. I used to watch the Andy Williams show with my dad, and I was super young. I mean, super young, a kid, and I was just like, sigh, because Andy Williams just had that voice and his eyes
Velvet,
twinkled,
the voice
and
of
they were
velvet.
blue, and his smile. And what would make a 6 or 7-year-old girl feel like that about a man who was what?
Well,
maybe 40 there,
They were
maybe.
swooners. You know, they crooned and swooned
But
the girls.
but you know that's what's so interesting because it can happen. You know, where a little girl or a little boy has a crush on a movie star that is old enough,
Sure.
way old enough to be
Sure.
their parents, and that's how I felt
And
about
some of those
Eddie.
little
That's how I
girls-
felt not about Eddie,
Some
about
of those little
Andy
girls
Williams.
actually said, "I'm going to marry that guy sometime," and end up doing it.
Oh, I know.
One
oh,
of them was my dad's 5th wife.
Oh, the beauty queen.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Miss
anyway,
Virginia
if
or
we
something.
get kicked off, the show is over. But this will give you guys a chance to say
Oh,
goodnight
you're not
to
going to
each
get
other.
kicked over because it's not like a copywritten song.
It is a copywritten song.
Not in this not this version. of
Okay,
it.
well, we'll see. If we disappear, you'll know what happened, everybody. And I'm just going to sneak in on Todd's camera.
Here we go.
Okay, good night. I love you guys. Enjoy this because it's one of my favorites. Okay, here we
All right,
go.
Here we go.
What do we sing? What do we sing? Well, there's a wonderful number that I did at the Coconut Grove. It would be great for the 3 of us.
It's Eddie's mother out there.
Either that or Mrs. Grove. Say, Bobby. Did you get a chance to see me at the Grove? I had several chances. But you didn't go. Well, anyway, I do this song from the Sound of Music, Do, Re, Mi.
Oh, it's a great song, but I don't know the words.
I don't know the words. Well, I do. I have a great arrangement of it, and I'll teach it to you.
Oh, you're going to teach us a song?
Yeah, I taught
you
music.
gotta be what?
I taught.
Yeah, you taught it was easy, but it's hard, isn't it?
Why don't we do
go.
it?
You ready?
Sure.
Let's start at the very beginning.
That's
A very good place to start.
I don't believe him.
When you read, you begin with ABC. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. The first 3 notes just happen to be Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi.
He means it.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Go, a deer, a female deer. Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself. Far a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do. A deer, a female deer.
Rain.
A drop of golden sun.
Me.
A name I call myself.
Fa.
A long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread.
I got it. La, a note to follow. So,
Tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do. A deer, a female deer.
Oh, a female deer.
Ray, a drop of golden sun.
Ray, a drop of golden sun.
Me, a name I call myself.
Me, I call myself.
Far a long, long way to run.
Far a long, long way to run.
Oh, a needle pulling thread.
Needle pulling thread.
A note to follow. So,
A note to follow.
Tea,
So,
a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Oklahoma, where the wind runs from.
No, now just try this, Bobby.
yeah, Bobby.
Bobby, right. So, do, la, fa, mi, do, re.
Sol, do, la, fa, mi, do, re.
Terrific. Now it's your turn, Bubba. So, do, la, ti, do, re, do.
So, do, la, ti, do, re, do.
Hold together. So, do, la, fa, mi, do, re. So, do, la, ti, do, re, do. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything.
A female deer.
Ray,
A drop of golden sun.
me,
A name I call myself.
a
long, long way to run.
So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Re, do.
Me, so, re, fa, la, ti, do, me, so, re, fa, la, ti, do, me, so, re, fa, la, ti, do, me, so, re, fa, la, ti,
So, do, la, ti, do, re, do.
do, a deer, a female deer.
Ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself. Far a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to sol, do, la, fa, mi, do, fa, sol, la, ti,
Losing your